When optimization broke the system, everything was working better than ever. Costs were lower, speed was higher, errors were rare. And yet, beneath that efficiency, the system was quietly becoming unstable. To understand why this story matters now, we need to examine how optimization reshaped modern investing. Optimization sounds harmless, even responsible. Remove waste, improve accuracy, tighten processes. For decades, markets rewarded those who could do more with less. Capital flowed toward systems that minimize friction and maximize precision. At first, optimization solved real problems. Trading became cheaper. Information traveled faster. Portfolios were balanced more carefully. Risk was measured with increasing sophistication. The market felt smarter, cleaner, more professional. Inefficiencies shrank, and with them, obvious opportunities for failure. As competition intensified, optimization moved from advantage to necessity. Firms that did not refine fell behind. Every delay, every redundancy, every unused buffer became a liability. Systems were redesigned to respond instantly. Decisions were automated. Human judgment was streamlined out of the loop wherever possible. This shift didn't feel dangerous. It felt inevitable. Technology allowed it. Data justified it. History rewarded it. Each improvement reduced visible risk. Drawdowns softened. Performance smoothed. The system appeared to be learning how to protect itself. But optimization has a hidden cost. It removes slack. It replaces tolerance with precision. It assumes that the future will resemble the conditions under which the system was optimized. And markets rarely make that promise. As optimization spread, systems grew more interconnected. Processes depended on each other's timing. Small delays mattered. Small mismatches propagated quickly. What once failed locally now transmitted globally. Efficiency increased, but resilience quietly declined. The system still functioned. In fact, it functioned beautifully. During calm periods, it outperformed anything that came before it. That success became evidence. Evidence that optimization had not just improved the market, but perfected it. What went unnoticed was how narrow the margin for error had become, how little tolerance remained for surprise, how many safeguards had been replaced with assumptions about continuity. Optimization did not break the system immediately. It made it quieter, smoother, more convincing. And that is why the moment it failed felt so sudden. Because systems built to run perfectly often struggle the most when perfection is no longer possible. And that struggle was already beginning. As optimization deepened, the system began depending on conditions remaining stable not occasionally, but continuously. Every component was calibrated to operate within narrow bands. Volatility assumptions tightened. Error tolerances shrank. Processes that once allowed for delay were redesigned to require immediacy. This worked because the environment cooperated. Liquidity was ample. Correlations behaved. Shocks were contained quickly. Under these conditions, optimized systems appear resilient. They corrected deviations instantly. They reduced noise before it spread. Stability became self-reinforcing. But optimization changed how risk expressed itself. Instead of appearing frequently in small doses, risk was compressed. Minor disturbances were absorbed effortlessly. The system grew accustomed to handling everything smoothly. And because it handled everything smoothly, it stopped rehearsing for disruption. Redundancies were removed because they slowed performance. Buffers were reduced because they tied up capital. Manual overrides were limited because they introduced inconsistency. Each choice made sense in isolation. Together, they transformed the system into something highly efficient and highly dependent. As interconnections increased, failures no longer remained local. A delay in one process affected several others. A mispricing in one asset propagated through portfolios linked by optimization logic. The system no longer needed large shocks to be stressed. It needed only misalignment. Risk management adapted, but in the same direction, models assumed faster recovery. Stress tests focused on intensity, not duration. Scenarios emphasize extremes, not persistence. The possibility of prolonged adjustment inside narrow tolerances received less attention. What made this phase deceptive was how calm it felt. Optimization reduced visible volatility. Markets appeared disciplined. Drawdowns were brief. Every recovery reinforced belief that the system could handle whatever came next. But resilience is not measured by performance during calm. It is measured by behavior during disruption. And optimization had quietly reshaped that behavior. The system no longer bent easily. It corrected quickly or not at all. When conditions deviated beyond optimized ranges, responses became abrupt. Adjustments that once happened gradually now occurred in steps. This is where the danger emerged. Optimization did not eliminate failure. It postponed it. And by postponing it, it allowed pressure to accumulate. The system was no longer practicing recovery. It was practicing precision. And precision does not tolerate surprise. The conflict erupted when the system encountered a disturbance it could not correct quickly. Not a collapse, not a single shock, but a series of small deviations that persisted longer than expected. Prices drifted instead of snapping back. Volatility lingered. Correlations behaved inconsistently. These were not extreme events, but they exceeded the narrow tolerances optimization had set. The system responded by adjusting more aggressively. Automated controls tightened simultaneously across institutions. Exposure was reduced. Liquidity demands increased. Trades were executed faster and in larger volumes. What was meant to stabilize began to amplify. This revealed a critical weakness. Optimized systems assume speed solves problems. But when many systems respond at once, speed becomes congestion. Orders collide. Liquidity thins. Prices move further with each adjustment. Human intervention came too late. Processes designed to operate autonomously had limited override capacity. Decision-makers faced dashboards filled with lagging indicators. By the time discretion returned, the system had already moved. What made this phase chaotic was its uniformity. Everyone reacted the same way because optimization had aligned behavior. Diversity of response had been engineered out. The system no longer had enough independent actors to dampen shocks. As adjustments cascaded, small losses turned into significant ones, not because fundamentals collapsed, but because the system had lost its ability to absorb deviation gradually. It corrected violently, or not at all. Confidence eroded rapidly, not through fear, but through recognition. The system that worked so well under normal conditions was failing under persistence. Optimization had assumed disruption would be brief. This one was not. Liquidity withdrew. Spreads widened. Volatility spiked. The system was no longer smoothing outcomes. It was transmitting stress. The buildup was complete. What had been optimized for perfection was now exposed to reality. And reality does not conform to optimized tolerances. The resolution did not arrive with a fix. It arrived with acceptance. The system had not malfunctioned. It had behaved exactly as it was designed to behave. Optimization had not failed by accident. It had failed by design. Once participants recognized this, responses shifted. Controls were loosened. Buffers were rebuilt. Redundancies were reintroduced. Not because efficiency was no longer valued, but because resilience had been rediscovered. In hindsight, the lesson was clear. Optimization improves performance by narrowing possibilities. Resilience preserves survival by widening them. When systems chase perfection, they often sacrifice the ability to endure imperfection. The market did not need to be less advanced. It needed to be less brittle. Technology was not the problem. Assumptions were. The belief that speed could replace slack, that precision could replace patience, that efficiency could replace adaptability. This story matters because optimization never stops. Every calm period renews the temptation to refine further, to remove another buffer, to shave another margin. And each refinement feels justified by recent success. But markets are not machines with fixed inputs. They are systems shaped by behavior, psychology, and time. They demand room to breathe. When that room disappears, stress has nowhere to go. Optimization did not break the system overnight. It built a structure that could only function under ideal conditions. When those conditions changed, the break was inevitable. The real question is not whether we should optimize. It is how much imperfection we are willing to preserve in order to survive uncertainty. When